Hi everybody, welcome to Oxford Community Television Studios. This is a special informational segment with Rod Charles. He wants to talk about a little bit about a forum that's going to happen pretty soon.
Pretty soon is right. Tuesday, October 8th.
Right.
7 p.m. at the Oxford Legacy Center, just north of town.
Let's talk about what it is. It's not a political anything, right? So
Right.
Rod Charles, if you don't know him, you've probably been living under a rock. But Rod Charles has been involved in this community his whole life. I'm not going to say how many years, but he's also a trustee for the Township of Oxford. And I want people to understand that this is totally separate from your trustee hat. This is a different hat.
Completely unrelated to anything I do, either with being a township trustee. I'm also on the Oxford Addison Youth Assistance Board, which has nothing to do with that. I'm on the Oxford Downtown Development Authority, the DDA. I was the chairman of the DDA, so this is completely unrelated. This is just myself and Mike Spiz, who is our Oakland County Commissioner. We do this for community service. You know, so it's totally non-political, not involved with other entity that he and I have volunteered for.
And this is something you've actually volunteered to do in the past, right? Even before you were a trustee?
Oh, many years ago.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this morning. I think this might be the 5th time, Terry, that we've done it.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I know we've done it. You know, school board elections are always, there's always controversies that go on. I know when my wife and I first moved here, or bought property here, I think the controversy then was about the football coach.
Oh gosh, that was a while ago.
Yeah. Well,
I do remember that.
Yeah, that's a controversy. And then, you know, I was on the Boosters Club too, by the way, and I remember there was controversy about the blue turf at the high school.
Oh yes.
You know, that was one there too. And then about the potential of the Chinese building a dormitory in Oxford. Remember that controversy?
Yeah, sure do.
So, you know, things kind of move along, and that's just the nature of the beast.
We've got a pretty big controversy now. But you also announced for Oxford Community Television, you announced the swim. You were the swimming announcer.
I did girls swimming and diving, the boys swimming and diving. I pinch hit for basketball, girls basketball, and I pinch hit for the wrestling team too, by the way.
Awesome. All right, let's get back to the subject at hand. So you and Mike Spiz will be hosting, right? Is that the right word? A school board forum.
Right.
To find
and
out
you can
about
say
these
moderators
candidates.
if you wish. Yes. And Mike and I, as we were saying a moment ago, we've done this for a number of years. It's been favorably received. We call it a friendly forum because it's not a debate. It's not argumentative. It's not designed to be. It's kind of a meet and greet, Terry. So if you want to see who the candidates are, it's a chance to listen to them, answer some questions, and then I would hope that people would mingle later on and say, hey, I have a question about how long recess should be at Clear Lake Elementary, or whatever question you might have, you know? So it's a friendly format, you know? And if I may say, and we call it a friendly forum because that's the idea. It's not supposed to be contentious. It's not taxes. I would encourage people to come and ask and get a chance to meet these candidates. I mean, many people, I'll say, complain about taxes, right? Well, where's the biggest portion of our tax bill going?
To the schools.
The schools.
Right.
And so it's nice to see where or who the people are that are managing the school budget. Not in a negative way, but just making sure that we know what's going on.
Well, just like any board that governs a specific entity, they're the people that you want to know who they are. They're the people that you want them to hear you if you have a concern. I always hear people complain something's going on in the village that they're not happy about, or something's going on in the township they're not happy about. Attend those meetings. Having sat on those boards, I'm the person, I want to hear what these people have to say. And so too does a school board. I'm sure they do, but get to know them before you go in there and start attacking them or whatever, saying, I don't like this. Maybe they want to hear what you have to say.
Absolutely. And, you know, I find it amazingly easy and simple to be involved. I mean, being on a committee, that's not hard.
Yeah, no.
And you find out what's going on in your community. And let's say Oxford Village Council, Oxford Township Board of Trustees, DDA, Chamber of Commerce, but it's not that challenging, and you learn more about your community and you feel like you're participating, not just observing. And that's, here again, the idea here is you get a chance to meet the people that have raised their hand and said, hey, I'm going to run for Oxford School Board. And that's not the easiest job in the world, by the way.
No kidding.
And I would say this, because there are many people that run for school board that we disagree with.
Sure.
But we've got to compliment them for raising their hand and doing something about it.
A big pat on the back.
A pat on the back, whatever else, that
Right.
would, there's a great quote, when people complain about things, to your point, if I can remember the details, I think Aristotle, he said that the only way to avoid criticism is to do nothing, say nothing, and be nothing.
Yeah. So true.
And anytime you're on a board, I hate to say it, but you do open yourself up for some degree of criticism, rightfully or not.
Right.
But that's humanity.
Right.
And it's not just Oxford. It's not just now. I mean, go back to the antiquity of the Romans, the Greeks, or you read the Shakespeare plays. Same stuff.
Sure. Different day.
Different day, different clothes, all that kind of good stuff.
And you can't take it personally. A lot of people are on boards and they do take it personally. You're a whole panel. You're one of 7.
Yes.
So, which is wonderful, or one of an uneven number, which is wonderful because you don't have to take the full blame if something goes haywire. But also, you do have to step up and say, this is the way I feel.
Oh, absolutely.
And that really creates a dialogue. If it's a highly functioning board, it creates a dialogue where resolutions happen.
And go back to the school board, or any board that we've all been involved with, even when I was on the Boosters Club at the high school. We don't always agree, but as you were saying, that's okay. We're never always going to agree on things.
Yeah. It's hard to watch a board where one person says, this is what my motion is, and everybody goes, okay, I support that motion, and right down the line. Where is the discussion? Where is the problem solving in that?
And I would share with the public, as I said a moment ago, a lot of the things that go on in any board are done at the committee level before it gets to the board.
Sure, right.
And it's easy to find out what goes on. There's printed agendas. I mean, the state law says a meeting has to be posted 18 hours in advance, which may be enough time, maybe not, but whatever else.
Right.
But I think the school board is something that's very important to a community.
Wow.
I mean, one thing about Oxford that's always impressed me, there's a sense of community, and that's really the school system binds us together. Whether we have kids in school or not, it binds us together. Myself, I've always been involved. My wife taught at the high school for many, many years. She's retired now. My kids went there to school, in Oxford schools. As I said, I volunteered. I coached baseball and all that stuff. You mentioned the OCTV stuff. Mike Spiz, Mike, as far as involvement, Mike's our Oakland County Commissioner. He was a township trustee. He's on the planning commission. And his 2 daughters went to Oxford High School.
Right. It's hard to be in this community and not have had some kind of experience with our school system, which is such a good one to begin with. We've had our troubles, but it's a great school system, and it's what is bringing people into this community.
I hear that even before I retired. I was a certified financial planner. I had people tell me they're moving to Oxford, and one of the things they brought up was the good school system.
Right.
And I want to take a moment, if I may go back a little bit. Another person helping us, our timekeeper for this, I'll talk about format, is Brad Jacobson.
Oh, another person very heavily involved in the community and the school system.
I mean, Brad's there. I mean, this thing we're doing on Tuesday night is community-oriented. It's local people. We're not having outsiders coming and do things. Brad Jacobson made a great point. He went to Oxford High School. He was our county commissioner. He was a township trustee. He was our state house representative.
Raised his kids here.
His kids went to school here. He currently works with NODA.
Yep. So let's go back to the format. So first of all, where is it going to be? And let's say the date again.
Sure. It's where is the Legacy Center, North End by G's Restaurant.
Okay.
And I want to mention this. Years ago when we first started this, we did it at Waterstone, but Mr. Spiz was able to get us Legacy Center because they don't charge us anything.
Nice.
So that was a nice thing because in the past we paid, I think, $250 or $350 to use Waterstone. So nice for Legacy Center to do that to compliment.
Yeah, bravo.
So it's Tuesday, October 8th, 7 p.m. Okay? And for those people who are attending, one of the things to note is we have 3x5 cards that would ask people, put your question down.
That's when they come into the door.
Yep, and if you can, even bring one ahead of time just to save time.
Nice.
You know, if you have a card, write it down ahead, because that way, and then what happens, my wife Karen, who, as I said, taught the high school, and a couple other volunteers, They'll go through the questions that people written out and they categorize them.
Nice.
They do not censor them. They don't do whatever else. But they categorize them by category so that we don't ask the same question 6 times.
Or bounce back and forth and lose track, right?
I mean, think about the timing of this, Terry. If we have 7 candidates and every candidate takes 1 minute, and that's where Brad Jacobson is our timekeeper.
Very good.
They get a minute to answer a question. Well, that's a minute 7 times. That's 7 minutes.
For
not
one
counting
question.
even for one question,
Yeah.
plus the moderator reading. We've got about 10 minutes in each question.
Yeah.
So you're talking, 10 questions in a little bit over an hour.
Yeah.
So that's one reason we do this, to avoid the redundancy. And it's a common procedure. We've done it all the time, and it's worked out very well.
Very
for those people that might get their special question not answered, we'll stick around and talk to the candidates later on.
Heck
because
yes.
we just
Right.
don't have enough time to ask every question in every which way possible. Okay?
So all 7 board candidates will be there then?
I have called personally every single
Very good.
candidate and have spoken with every single candidate. I just didn't email them. I spoke with them. I made a point of calling people. And it's always, it's always hard to get hold of people too, by the way. Sometimes you call people 7 or 8 times, it's like finally get hold of them.
You can email them, you can text them, you can call, and you still have a hard time. Everybody's busy. And that's another thing. This is a really, really good opportunity to get to know these people, because people are so busy you can't just call or bump into them on the street. They're all in the same place all at once, which is very nice of you guys to organize that.
Thank you very much. It's time and it's work, but like I said early on here, Mike and I have done this for community service. There's no hidden agendas. We're not promoting anybody. It's to help our community stay on top of the game.
Very nice. Very nice. Kind of like the newspaper interviewing everybody.
Yes.
Only you have the opportunity to ask your own question, which is really great.
And if you don't ask a question, then, like I said, hang around and, hey, Terry, I have a question about this at the school, or what do you think about the hiring practices, or whatever you might be curious about.
And there's a lot going on right now at the school. Do you know how many people will be incumbents?
I don't know how many are going to be incumbents. I know we've got 2 people running for a 2-year term, and the others are all running for the 4-year term.
Okay. All right.
And by the way, Erin Reese, who is a writing candidate, I spoke with Erin, and she's coming as well.
Okay.
She
anything special anybody needs to know? They can park in the back, come in through G's Pizza. Is that how that will work, or is there will be a separate entry door?
Well, a lot of times, several times, my wife Karen and I will go up to go to G's Pizza, because we get to watch OCTV do the YouTube broadcast there sometimes. The football games.
Yeah.
Watch Rochester get defeated by the Wildcats last Friday.
Oh, that's something, bravo.
Yes.
Yay.
That's almost as much fun as beating our friends in Lake Orion.
And yeah, that was fun too. Yeah, we're doing pretty good.
But you got G's Pizza there, so if somebody wants to get there early and have a bite to eat, great. Or after the forum, they can stop by later on, have an adult beverage have a bite to eat, whatever else. It's just the north end of the Legacy Center. So as far as the parking, I know I park around the back up right there. There's a few parking places, or just walk through the Legacy Center.
Got it. Okay.
Just take a chance of getting lost.
Say it again. The Tuesday, October 8th at 7
p.m. and be there a little bit early so we can get the questions, And we won't check the grammar or anything like that.
Okay.
I might bring a red pen, so be careful.
Won't call you out on your spelling. So be there. If you want to know who is running our school and helping Dr. Milligan, you have a perfect opportunity to get to know that board. So be there. And thanks for joining us today.
Oh, my pleasure. And thanks for helping us publicize this. You hate to have something like this and then people don't hear about it and don't get a chance to ask questions. Or at least listen to questions. How's that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Terry.
Be there. Thank you.